Are you ready?
I'm typically always ready.
You're always ready.
I try to be.
Good. Well, welcome back to the Samantha Show. I'm your host, Samantha. You can call me Sam. Just don't call me Sammy. I am here with the Mr. Jey Ellis. First of all, haven't you won like Dayton's Best Realtor like 10 years in a row?
Just when you say that, it's true. No, I've had a very blessed career, and I've had a lot of great people in the community, such as yourself, that I've worked with.
Yeah.
And if I'm a great realtor, that's why I am, because of other people.
Yeah. Yeah. Jey sold us our last two houses, but we're not here to talk about houses. I don't want to just like dive in, but I really want to dive in because
Why are you here today?
we're here. Well, first of all, you are head to toe in a goldfish outfit.
That's normal.
Do you
right?
love goldfish?
I do. Oddly, I don't have any goldfish currently.
Yeah.
But it was, they were definitely an early pet
Yeah.
when I was a kid. Orange is one of my favorite colors.
It makes sense.
It just makes sense. But they're very soothing. There's just something, all animals I'm drawn to, with
Yeah.
the exception of snakes. No offense,
Wait.
snakes out there. That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
But, there's just something very relaxing and beautiful about watching koi fish.
A fish, yeah. That's why people have like these massive tanks in their house and things
Right.
like that. But we're also not here to talk about fish. So Jey is here today because I'm guessing that people are going to listen to this, know or have seen at least a lot of them. You and your outfits. So Jey goes to the gym, which is great. We love that you go to the gym. I love going to the gym too. But like me, you really enjoy wearing bright colors to the gym. But you take it one step further by creating these incredible matching head to toe outfits. I remember the first time they started coming up, or I noticed them. I was like, what is happening on the internet? What is Jey doing? I love this. How do we make this man go viral? How do we share this everywhere? I'm obsessed with this. And wait, tell me your cat's name again.
Zinnia.
This
That's your guest star.
This is Zinnia. We're always here for a cat cameo. It's usually the dog at home, but you're wearing these amazing outfits, and I was like, I have to learn more about this. And then it just continued on. I thought it was like a short little thing.
I did too.
How long ago did you start wearing these outfits to the gym?
So often in today's world, we talk about COVID, and everybody has a story about it. Ever since COVID, fill in the blank.
Yeah.
But I know, being home and being disconnected from people, I found, just like a lot of people, you were trying to just reach for something that broke the monotony or just made you feel, relaxed, or it just took your mind off of things. And I remember for a good while, I was doing something on Facebook where every day, Monday through Friday, I would post a visual of 3 favorites in a category. Mm-hmm. And it was fun. It just got people talking. And I also realized after about 6 months of doing it that it was hard to do it every day and come up with a new idea. And so I just kind of quietly stopped doing it.
Yeah.
And then when we were able to go back to the gym, because everybody was having to work out at home or outside or whatever, I've always been fascinated by color. Mm-hmm. And I've always been an introvert, and it doesn't seem like those two would go together.
Right.
But I can remember being a little kid and knowing that I was different, and being afraid of being beat up or bullied for what I might want to wear.
Yeah.
I said this earlier to somebody at the gym. Even in the 80s, when I was in high school, it was pretty common with pastel colors because it was just kind of the look. I would never wear anything pink. I don't want to be a target.
Yeah.
I don't want people picking on me. But I don't really even remember the first day that I started doing it, but pretty soon it had been like a week or two, and then the creative juices started.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for a couple of years.
So you don't
crazy.
remember the very first outfit or anything because did it grow? Did it aspire?
It probably did. I probably need to go back to some really good friends that I have from the gym and pinpoint it a little bit different than how I'm explaining it to you. But I think it snuck up on me.
Yeah.
is what happened. Then I started noticing for a while it would be easier for me to stop at the grocery store after the gym because it's on the way home.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I barely made it through the gym with what I'm wearing today.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, in my mind, there's no way I can go to the grocery store. And then one day I just finally did it. I've lost count of how many people I've talked to out in the public that have wanted a picture with me.
Sure.
Or what's really cool is when they can tell me how it reminds them of something, a childhood memory, or time with their granddaughter, or, you know, my son would love this. Can I take a picture of it? And it surprises me every time, but now it brings me a lot of joy.
Yeah, if people don't understand what we're talking about, I mean, you have all kinds of outfits. I got to see the dressing room. It felt like a very exclusive. I'm so honored. It was like, oh, the people on the internet don't even know how magical it is in here. All the shoes, all the outfits, in so many different genres. And we talked, like, you have these. Tell me about, like, this head to toe concept that you have.
Yeah, and that's what I call it.
This is your thing. You call it whatever you want to call it.
I can do whatever I want to do and say what I want to say. But yeah, to me, head to toe means basically a version of what I have on, which from my shoes to my hat is orange goldfish.
Yeah.
A step further is I have several outfits that are a specific pattern. Mm-hmm. So I have a houndstooth pattern. I have red polka dots as a pattern, and to see it literally from head to toe, visually, it's pretty eye-catching, but it also kind of feeds into that. I've talked about this before. It's almost nourishing to me. It's a version of art and creativity.
Yeah,
and it just feels really cool.
Yeah,
I don't know how to explain it any better, but but you know, a head to toe could also be a theme from head to toe that not necessarily matches color wise, but everything is related, you know, to that theme. Yeah. And sometimes those themes come out of wanting to do something fun for somebody that we treasure at the gym just turned 90. Oh. And so I did a balloon animal birthday type one, and then on the hat it said Janet is 90.
Cute.
So, you know, I have that opportunity sometimes to be able to kind of just be, you know, that person for a special occasion.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's amazing. You have hat, shirt, shorts, socks, shoes typically, right? For all pieces.
I try. It didn't start out that way.
Yeah.
But it's harder for me to not do it that way.
Yeah.
But one of the challenges is the cost.
Sure.
And trying to figure out, because I know this is a shocker, but most 60-year-old men are not shopping online for the things that I'm shopping for. So the inventory isn't as high as I would like it to be.
Yeah.
But I've always had an art background, and one day I just kind of stopped myself and said, Jay, why don't you start figuring out how to make some of the stuff.
Yeah.
So the very first thing I did was which I don't have here right with me, but you've seen it before, which is a head to toe, and it's neon splatter paint.
Yeah.
And the background's white, but it's literally the hat, the shirt, the shorts, the shoes.
Do you do a different look every single day?
I try to, and I would love to. Sometimes it might be a mishmash of things that I've done before that go well with a slightly different theme.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll just go back and wear my favorites because I want to, but it might be in a different setting. It might not be at the gym. It might be on vacation or shopping, whatever.
That's amazing. So you say you do shop online, but you also make things. So amazed by the fact that you find shoes. Like you have goldfish on your house. I didn't know they make goldfish shoes.
When the first couple of times I started to look for things online that just seemed like there's no way I'm going to find this online. The look on my face when I would see that there's a size 11 men's goldfish shoe out there. But the, you know, that it's what helped turn it into, well, why don't you try to make some of the stuff?
Yeah, sure.
And that's been fun.
And how do you make pieces? I know we splatter paint, but what other methods do you use to make these clothes?
I've been trying to I'm a master at a glue gun now, and I know what type of glue and what color.
Pageantry got me into rhinestoning and gluing and all the pieces as well, so I understand that.
Yeah, so the glue gun is my friend for sure, and there's a technique to it, and there are other fabric glues that I will use. I've also been experimenting a lot with heat transfers.
Yeah.
So I have a very small iron that really works great in smaller areas.
Yeah.
I've done. I showed you earlier. I did something where I hand painted it.
Yeah.
I love stained glass, and I couldn't find a hat that made sense, and so I just did it by hand.
Yeah.
And took me a couple of days, but I love it.
And it turned out so well. They all turn out so well. Talk to me a little bit about you had mentioned this, maybe you started kind of for you because you wanted to wear some cool colors and cool clothes, but it has created an impact when you see people out in public. What does that now mean to you that you do get to kind of wear these clothes and it is special for other people and it's become, people look forward to it. I look forward to it when I see your outfits come up on social media and I'm like, what's Jey in today?
There's so many different thoughts that just popped into my head when you said that. The first one was, and this happened about a month or two ago, I was at a garage sale and I was walking in and there was a couple walking out. I didn't know them and I didn't recognize them. And the guy stopped and said, "Wait a minute, aren't you the outfit guy from the gym?" And I thought, "Oh, wow."
You now have a reputation here in Dayton.
I don't do it because I want people to comment.
Sure.
But it's been something that I've learned from the process that I didn't know was going to be part of the process.
Yeah.
Is the people coming up and talking to you. Like I mentioned earlier, I've heard some really amazing stories from people, and it's a lot of it's based on memory.
Yeah.
A childhood memory or time they've spent with family or friends. And that's been pretty cool.
That's special.
And it's, when you say to somebody, "I love what you do, it makes me smile," it's a really cool thing to hear. It's just to make someone's day happy for a minute or two when you think about all of the stress and anxiety that goes into living life.
Yeah.
It's if I can do that, that's so awesome, because I know when I smile and I get a little relief of something, that it is such a great feeling, and it gives you the energy to redirect your day maybe a little bit. And I'm not saying I have that power, but if it helps at all with that, I think the other thing is that I had mentioned that I actually am an introvert, and I think it's really helped me push myself to be okay with just being what you want to be and doing what you want to do, and not really worrying as much about what people are going to think. Like I mentioned, going to the grocery store the first couple of times, I was like, oh my God. One day I was in the grocery store and it was like 3 or 4 people in different sections of the store that were stopping me and wanting to know where could they get those shoes, or
oh wow,
or the one common thing that I get is they'll stop and say, "Oh my gosh, I love your hat," and then there's a pause and they're like, "Oh my God, your shirt matches. Oh my God, your shorts match. No way, your shoes match So
that's cute.
Just to see the fun and excitement with that is great.
You said something that I hear. So I try to help people with confidence, and I got my confidence coaching certification and things like that. And the number one thing that people tell me they want to work on is not worrying about what other people think of them. That's like the number where people are like, I just wish I didn't worry about what other people think of them. You're going out into public where people are going to look at you. How have you been able to find your confidence in that, or what goes through your mind? I know you had to kind of work your way up to it, but what would you say to somebody who said, I'm worried about what people think about me if I dress a certain way or act a certain way?
It's important to give people a positive message. And if it's something that you've overcome or you've experienced or that you feel like you can speak to be able to say it. But at the same time, it really comes down to they have to just do it.
Yeah.
they have to try it. And, a good example would be, I have a lot of friends that do improv, and I've done a lot of acting. I've done a lot of writing. I've done a lot of that over the years. It's one of the things I'm afraid to try. But no matter how many friends tell me they think I would be good at it, I'm not going to, I'm not going to be good at it. I'm not going to do it unless I make myself do it.
Absolutely.
And, there are some times in life where you might not need to push yourself to do something, but I think it's the experience of doing it. I've told, this is a very quick story, but growing up, I always wanted to be able to, during the summer, I wanted to be able to do a flip off of the high dive.
Yeah.
Not the low dive I could figure out,
Yeah.
but it was the high dive. And I think it ended up taking me the better part of 2 seasons to do it. And I just went a little bit further each time.
Yeah.
But the disappointment of not doing it and wanting to do it kept me,
Sure.
kept me on that path of trying it. And then once I did it, it's your own self-confidence that you're building. And,
right.
And it's such a great feeling. And it might not be that big of a thing to anybody else, but and I'm not saying that it takes great courage to go out into public dressed like I am, but I also know now that there are other people that it's not just what I'm wearing. There are other people out there that have things they're afraid to try.
Right.
And I'm my own example that I got over that fear of what people are thinking.
Yeah.
And so for the next person, it might be whatever, they've never, learned how to drive a stick.
Right.
or,
right.
Or do something from a high level because they're afraid of heights, or they're afraid of a certain animal, but they get over that fear.
I think really what you said, it's just a matter of you have to just start, and it might be uncomfortable the first time, or you may really be worried about what people think, but you're going to notice if you do it the next time, well, maybe less people weren't looking at me, or maybe I wasn't as bad at it, or whatever avenue or thing that it is. You have to just kind of start doing it, and that's where you find.
And how many times do we think people think something, and if you could get in their head, they're like, "I need bread, eggs."
Yeah, right. They're not
right. I read even thinking of you.
No, I read something online. It said something like, if you knew how often people actually thought about you, you wouldn't think about how often people think about you, or something like that. Where it was like. It's never. People are always thinking about themselves, So,
and even if they are, it's just a thought.
It's a fleeting thought, right? They're not thinking.
They're probably not going to all of a sudden pull a spotlight out of everywhere, from nowhere, and start ridiculing you and heckling you like you were a bad comic. And, and even if you're doing that, at least you got up on stage.
Right, exactly. So you have some different styles. I had you in from the magical closet upstairs. I had you bring down some different things. I want us to look at some of these different outfits. Let's start. I love that you are big in the nonprofit world. Or maybe you can even speak to that, or why that's so important to you.
Sure. Thank you. I really appreciate you bringing that up. I was fortunate enough to spend about 15 years in the nonprofit industry before I became a real estate agent for the last 20. 2 completely different industries, but it's always been very important for me to stay involved. And it's been an interesting journey because there are way more nonprofits out there than people realize. And yet when you're trying to figure out what to do to help or what to do in the community, people struggle, and I struggle, what's the right fit?
Sure.
Well, 15 years ago, I've always loved animals, so I knew that was the base. And I knew the current executive director at the Humane Society of Greater Dayton, and so kind of asked him some questions, and I started volunteering, and I've been there every Sunday morning except for illnesses and vacation for 15 years.
Wow.
And it's just a great organization, and there's so much to do, and it's been such a huge part of my life. I knew, and I still know, that there are other passions that I have that hopefully would help people in the community, and a lot of that is through a nonprofit. But again, I knew the executive director at the food bank, another wonderful person, and I went for a tour, I don't know, maybe a year ago, and I do one shift a week there now, and it's what I can't say enough about both organizations, what they do and what they accomplish. So I do try my hardest to do what I can do, and if it has anything to do with an outfit, I go to the food bank in a food outfit.
Yes, you do.
And they get really excited, the volunteers and the staff, hey, is Jay here today? I wonder what he's going to be wearing.
What is Jay wearing? The $1 million question.
So,
well, show us, if you don't mind, can you show us your food bank outfit?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't debuted it yet, but
I feel like we're getting like an exclusive sneak peek. Okay. I feel like I need to like hold your mic for you.
Yeah,
Do you want me to hold? Okay. It's like a boom mic, like in the TV thing where we go like this overhead.
And hope that it doesn't hit me in the head. And if it does, it does. Whatever.
All right. Show us what we got here.
So, this is for the food bank.
Yeah.
And I'll wear it for some special event or something. But this is one that I just kind of started working on myself as far as the design. It has their eliminating hunger and its root causes.
So cute.
Logo and some groceries, and Zinnia is trying to help us.
So this was heat transfer.
Heat transfer.
Yep.
Yeah. So kind of front and back.
Oh, and you got the little peanut butter, are these pins on the side?
Yeah. So I actually ordered the shirt in way too big. So this was my fun way of taking it in a little bit.
Love this. Love this.
And then, of course, you got to kind of keep the color theme going and whatnot.
Sure.
And
almost
I think the really fun part was the hat.
That hat is amazing.
This is mostly the magic of glue gunning, and I'm trying to clean up a little bit of it.
There's always the glue gun string. That looks so cool. Okay, so where did you get these stickers? Look, the Reese's, are those like stickers or?
These are actually, they're just like miniatures.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing once you put together the stuff that I put together. You find all sorts of different resources out there, for things. Sometimes I'll buy things and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm gonna do with that, but I'll get it later.
Yeah.
And then I kind of continued the theme with the shoes.
These are amazing. Will you wear specific socks with them?
I do sometimes. Sometimes I don't. You're going to laugh when I say this. Sometimes I say to myself, you know what? The socks, maybe just a bit
too much. There is no... Where does Jay draw the line on too much? Okay, so I love the food ones. So you have... these that you do with nonprofit. We brought down some others. Show us the pattern, the head to toe pattern. Isn't this another sneak peek? This has not been debuted.
I did do another version of this, but it was moose related.
Okay. You've got to be running out. Are we running out of ideas yet?
Well, unfortunately, people now come up to me and give me ideas.
Yeah.
Hey, is there any way that you would consider doing, and then fill in the blank?
I know. So, I feel like I want a special request one.
It's all right. You're allowed. I put it in the list.
There you go. You add it.
So yeah,
this is giving fall vibes with its plaid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And look at that. So we got the hat, we got the shirt.
Any one piece on its own would be, interesting, but when you put it all together, head to toe,
it's really a statement.
And shoes are almost always the hardest part.
Yeah, but we found them.
But we did it.
All right.
And then, I do a lot of animal stuff.
You do animals. All right, show us this animal one because it's gorgeous. I like that hat. My hat collection has recently started to grow. I've started wearing hats to the gym. That's become like my thing.
What's interesting when we used to work out at the same time, I feel like you did wear hats.
Yeah.
So this is the peacock outfit, sorry.
Yes.
Everybody recognizes, this part of the peacock.
Yeah.
But it's another version of head to toe.
Beautiful.
But, you can't go wrong with peacocks. Now, I did add a little bit of a touch. Sometimes it's just something little.
Yeah.
I did add this peacock feather on the sleeves.
Love that. Yeah.
To make it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you got to see this open.
Yes.
Because it's pretty good.
So pretty. Look at that. Do you work out better when you're dressed like this?
Oh wow, that's a good question.
I
think in general, it's we've all been there. If you're not in the mood to work out, if you're having a bad day, if you're down, you're negative, your workout's probably not going to be the best. But yeah, just being around so many fun, cool people of all different ages and backgrounds. Just that in itself it's hard when you go into the gym that I'm a part of, and to have that kind of energy and just not try to have a good workout. Or sometimes what you find is the stuff that you don't like in your workout, you don't notice it as much because you're also interacting and talking with other people while you're on the treadmill, and you're like, oh, some days I hate cardio, but wow, 30 minutes just went by because Mary and Lori and I are, chit-chatting about things. So
I'm a big believer in feeling comfortable in your clothes at the gym, and that helping contribute to a better workout and things like that. And
absolutely.
You're definitely sparking conversation, which is going to make time go by faster anytime.
Well, and I would also be doing a disservice to friends if I didn't mention there are definitely some very specific people at the gym that have helped me with sewing ideas. The calendar that we did for the first time last year for the Humane Society.
I wanted to talk about that calendar.
And we're actually gonna do it on behalf of the food bank this year.
Awesome.
So we're getting ready in about a week to start the photography on site there for that. But some of those friends have been invaluable. One of them also wrote an article about me on the Dayton Daily News that, she just did such a great job with it. And, I'm so thankful for that support. And that's probably one of the reasons why I've kept doing it as well, because I do have a lot of support and a lot of friends that are glad I'm doing it, and they help me.
You make it easy. You make it easy for anybody to want to learn more about this. I mean, you have a huge heart. It's so obvious with the way you give back to other people, and even your clients, like as working through you to buy our house and everything. And it just always felt like you cared. It was never like trying to push and sell. It was like genuinely
that means a lot.
Felt like, you were invested in our family, and I know you've taken care of Joe's parents and stuff like that. So my last kind of question here before we do closing thoughts. How many outfits do we have, Jay? I saw the closet. No, it's not a closet. The room.
It's one of the biggest questions that I get. It's usually, how long have you been doing this? Or, where do you store everything? Or where do you get these items? But I really don't know. I don't know. My best guess is that I could probably wear something different for maybe a year or a year and a half.
Yeah.
Straight.
I believe it. I
don't know. So
the shoes were the coolest thing to me. The shoes and the hat. I'm just a big shoe person, hat person. Like, there's some really cool shoes up there. So, all right, Jay, you have given us so many great nuggets of wisdom and beautiful things here. But if you had one more message you had to leave, if anybody, they're like, Jay, this is your one moment to share a message with everybody who listens, what would you want to say?
So many things I think about just day in and day out, but it almost always boils down to help somebody else, an organization. Just this is really going to sound weird. I thought about this today. I often will, and again, it was at the gym, but I'll walk by and I'll see something that needs to be in the trash can, and I'll just pick it up and put it in there.
Yeah.
And then I start thinking, what if everybody just one time a day got the item that was too tall for a little old lady that was 4'11" at the grocery store, or you see someone struggling to put groceries in their car. Do you need a hand? I guess it's random acts of kindness. I think there's so much room for that, and it's an easy thing to do. And not only does it make you feel better, but if everybody starts doing it more, there's less to do. There's less negative things to have to fix, I guess. I don't know. That's just kind of how my mind works.
And and I know I had just said it, but I truly, you live this way, and it's so apparent. And I think that's such a great message to give to other people, just to make their impact. And the smallest thing, like a fun outfit, can totally change somebody's day and really create an impact. So, Jay, thank you so much for the tour of your beautiful house, your wonderful cats. You volunteer at the Humane Society. How many animals have you brought home from the Humane Society?
Just seven, yeah. It's
15 years, that's not bad.
It's a small shelter.
Yeah. Right.
But, and yeah, I definitely wanted to say how much I love you.
Oh, thank you.
You're one of my favorite people, and it has nothing to do with, working in real estate or whatever. It's just your energy and everything that you do and everything that you've accomplished. You're a hero to a lot of people, and I know you would never say that about yourself or even think that, but it's I feel absolutely blessed that I know you.
Well, thank you. Well, I really appreciate that, Jay. Everybody who is listening, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Go make your impact. Have a great day because you deserve it.